Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to this Saturday post-match reaction on Follow Everton. I'm Yann. I'm joined with Basil and Corey, and we are happy. What is going on? Everton are. Again, well, it's an away performance, unbelievably. Some great goals, some great performance, but some good goals, some missed chances. But my God, the consistency all across the pitch. How are you feeling, guys?
Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. I want to slap yesterday, Corey, who is absolutely miserable. So we cry arsed it in on the from the preview of me.
Yeah. You, Basil?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm really happy. To be honest, I thought we were gonna slip. It's gonna slip away from us, and we would get a draw. But to come back and get that last goal was just like out of nowhere. It was just a great feeling, and to get the win again at St James's Park 2 years on the run, just it's great, isn't it? It keeps us right in the hunt there with Europe.
Yeah, it was a fantastic result. Now, obviously, there's a heck of a lot to go through because we had some. Well, I'll get the negatives out of the way in my mind to see if anything strikes a chord. There was some moments where we looked like we could have capitulated and we wouldn't have made it. And Beto got, for instance, got through and could have made it 3-1, I think it was, and just hit the crossbar because he was being closed down by Tonali. Tonali equally that manhandling James Garner to get the ball back up his end. Admittedly, you want to play football, but to do that and to not see a yellow card, and Joe Linton to commit, was it 5 or 6 fouls before? Did he even get a yellow card?
No,
it's little things like that that if we wouldn't have been so consistent in the fine margins games that David Moyes was talking about, which have, when you look at the spread of the table, those kind of things, they go against us. So the fact that we are so exhausted and we have to play in a couple of days against Burnley, and that's another thing to talk about, But there's some good stuff as well. But anything there that really sort of struck you as, let's get that out of the way, because yesterday was really negative on here, and
I haven't seen your negative stream. I'm sorry, but I sense the negativity amongst Everton fans largely to do with Moyes and the positions that he's playing players in. And I think some of that surely was to come away from seeing the team sheet and seeing a bit more normality in the team sheet. Yes, Dwight McNeil on the right wing is not my favoured position for him, but at least we've got 2 wingers on the pitch, and we've got a full back in, and Jacob Ryan, we know, is not bad as a right back. He's not great, but he's solid defensively. So bring back Branthwaite back to centre back. At least start the game with something that you feel a bit more confidence in.
But having said that, they got no joy with Voltemada, was completely anonymous. Anthony Gordon did very, very little. But to counter that, maybe that's the element of the game that Dwight McNeil offers. Because I don't want to crucify the guy, because it was his shot that rebounded and got that Beto goal. But he was a bit of a liability at times, gave the ball away, didn't quite do the right thing. And I don't know whether you agree.
It's Corey, yeah.
I completely agree.
Cool.
Am I in the dark?
Yeah, you're in the dark.
You can agree in the dark, though. That's all right.
Yeah. This is me going anonymous now. I'm going to modulate my voice as well. I agree with you, Baz. I think he gave the ball away a lot. He was missing for vast amounts of the games. But once again, it's the second time this has happened now. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the meme with the fella from Phineas and Ferb, and he goes, basically, if I had a nickel for every time McNeil had a shot from outside the box that a goalkeeper saved, messed up, and we scored from, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. And obviously, it's happened twice. Obviously, against Villa, he had a pot shot fluffed by Martinez, and again today, Nick Pope showing why he's nowhere near Jordan Pickford in the England goalkeeper conversation. No one is really, are they? As Pickford showed as well. So
he's not your most predictive of players, let's say, on the pitch, and he works hard, but he definitely frustrates at many moments with his lack of physicality and just the ability to just win the duels and stuff or be in the right place. But he can pop up with a goal, or his shooting is up there with one of the best in the squad. So Moyes is obviously thinking, we really do lack goals, so he's put him in there today. And yeah, he doesn't offer any. Most of the game, he might not do that much, but sometimes he can pop up with an assist or a goal.
Well, I will just say, just to let's run through the match. But yes, Kevin has made me giggle that everyone agrees in the dark. But I think it was Francis Bacon said all colours will agree in the dark. But right, so let's run through the game. It was a really, really good performance consistently from Everton. So that first goal was a corner. Now we changed it up. There wasn't the Royal Rumble WWE style bundle that happened. And it was a Ghana in-swinger that came in beautifully. Branthwaite was running away from goal, the near side, edge of the 6-yard box, glancing header, it curved. Nobody even went for it. It was like it was just, I don't know, those moments that they use in adverts that must happen in operas and ballet when they just slow it right down and it's just, and the ball sailed across the goal. Hit the post. I mean, I wouldn't be saying this if we'd have lost. I'd be that no, right? It was just beautiful. It just arced in slow motion. Da 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 da. Bum, ba, da. Hit the far post and just towed in, and it was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So your thoughts on that? I mean, is that you've been calling for different tactics at corners, haven't you, Corey? And I can't recall, Basil, you've been, well, how can anyone have been happy with our current tactics?
Yeah, I mean, the thing we were doing against Manchester United just wasn't working. The amount of goals from corners, one of the most effective ways to score a corner is literally someone running to the front post, glancing header, always catches people off guard. Branthwaite's got away from his man, gone to the near post, good ball in, not loads of height on the ball in, but there was a lot of whip, and that's one of the things we miss because we tend to float him in, and because of the whip on it, he's able to get a glance in header. And like you said there, it wasn't slow-mo. Felt like it took an age to reach that back post, but that's it. And instead of having loads of men on the goalkeeper and just no one else able to attack the ball, we've had one man by the goalkeeper and we've managed to score. So much better. Really good start. Really positive as well with it being Jared Branthwaite. So yeah, we can't go wrong. It set us up on good footing, didn't it? And it just meant that we managed to take the tempo away from Newcastle a bit.
And yeah, I mean, did you catch any? Do you know? Oh, what's this? Is this me?
Sorry, it's mine. My insulin.
Oh goodness. Well, and so then a while after that was. Anyway, right. At that note, we've just got to remind that it's not just a chat amongst three of us. Thank you so much for joining us. We've already got several hundred of you following. We do know that it's Leeds Man City coming up, and plenty of you will want to watch that, or maybe you will listen to us as well while you're going along on your phone. Now, so thanks for joining us. Do appreciate it. Ryan will whip me senseless if I don't say thanks for joining. Like and subscribe. Tell everyone. Share it. Watch as we do as much as we can. And get your comments in. We will highlight what we can. But what was really interesting is we were when you look at the statistics for that match, where is it? The flow of it. Newcastle United were quite dominant in the second half, and we managed to get some. We managed to get that late goal and remain on top, and rather than be under the cosh. Now, I just thought that was really good that we maintained the tactics throughout the game, and that lineup selection, as you were saying, was fundamental because KDH and James Garner and Idrissa Garner, I mean, they all worked very fantastically. And somebody said earlier in the comments that was Beto's best performance in an Everton shirt, and it's hard to disagree because he was part of. Yeah, here it is, Mr. Blue Skies. And it was because he was part of a cohesive team press that didn't relent all through the game. And it was, I don't want to swear in the middle of the day. I mean, I really do, but it was wonderful. What? Yeah, I know. Yeah, thanks for that, Dave. Yeah, see, thanks for the comments. Can we try and keep this professional?
It was. I think we've seen a lot of the.
Right.
That's what I was laughing at. Yeah, I agree. I mean, against Manchester United, the lads pressed quite high up, didn't they? And the energy was there in terms of the press, but we had nothing attacking once we were on the ball. But we've shown today, not only did they have the intensity, the effort there, but we were able to mix that up with good play on the ball. They were doing, especially in that first half, just to get into the rhythm of the game. Once we won the ball, we were doing a lot of 1-2 touch stuff. Beto was a massive part of that. Like Mr. Blue Sky said, it's possibly his best Everton game. So he was helping keep that tempo going as well. Garner's ball, Illiman and Jai as well. Absolutely fantastic. We know how good he is, but he was a massive part of, again, the tempo and moving the ball forward.
Oh, Corey has some technical issues. Yeah, and people are talking about it then. What was good to see was the consistency across the pitch, that Beto was quick on chasing down that ball, that Barry was in the right place and he didn't necessarily need to be fouled. Corey might be having some issues there. Barry might not needed to be fouled, to have got that in, or certainly, it would have been a penalty. Whether Beto's missed opportunity, but it's just his ability to chase the ball. And there was a time when Newcastle switched off late in the half, and it was they thought it was going to have been a foul or a throw in or something, and Everton kept playing, and it was playing to the whistle, and it was that awareness, and that again ended up being very pivotal sort of late in the game, when I think Mr. Blue Skies, again, it's getting another mention here, said that world-class save, absolutely, that Pickford made at the end.
Yeah. That was a hell of a save, wasn't it? Just like seeing the replay, it was just sensational. He just doing what he does, going under the radar, but making saves like that, and securing us the 3 points there. And as you said, towards the end of the game, I felt like what you've been alluding to is, after we went to 2-2, Everton's desire, their press was it seemed to be even more possessive and extreme than it was for the previous 45 minutes in that half, where we kind of set off and let Newcastle kind of play a little bit more. I think we realised after the goal went in, it was like, oh no, we should be winning this game, and now we're back level. And they just became possessed, and you saw Garner go, he was just flying into challenges, making sure they picked up the ball.
What was pivotal for you for that? Because we've been in similar situations where in the past we've capitulated, or or we've gone from a goal in front to a goal behind. And so what was? I mean, it might seem obvious. It might seem like I'm just setting you up for something. But what was the difference today then?
For the whole game, or for the end of the game?
I suppose more for the end of the game, but in my mind, at least, it's consistently through the game.
I thought the end of I can't put my finger exactly on a reason, but I suppose if you realise you've gone to the game swinging against you, like I did against Bournemouth, and we conceded the first goal, and then we conceded the second goal very quickly after. They've probably talked about this and said don't just let your heads drop, get back in the game, step up the levels. And I felt like they did that. They really wanted to win the ball back. And of course, Newcastle thought we can get the winner here. So there was small spaces, and Garnagay and Illiman and Dye were playing these little 1-2s, and Dewsbury Hall was getting in the pockets. And, that's what kind of led to the goal. He got sort of it slot in down the left, and he's just intelligent enough to put it right in the space to make sure we get that goal. And it came out the blue, but I think it was just a desire from the team to just make sure we got it.
And I think it's really important that when you see such quick ball playing, that not all players are capable of, but for example, the pivotal player in the Everton team at the moment, Illiman and Jai, his ability, his close control, his just ability to plot a path out and to know how to misdirect somebody to go, okay, I've made myself a yard, and to just escape. Now, that's not something that every player can do. But if you're constantly harrying the opposition, closing them down and pressing them, you're not giving them time to think and to plan and to prepare. They're just constantly aware, and you get them into a state where it's fight or flight, it's panic, it's they're not thinking as clearly and as calmly, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to rattle them and unsettle them, and it's science, baby, you know. And that's what we did today, because you had some players that aren't always the quickest that were really rattling Newcastle, and even Tonali didn't have a good game. And I don't know whether that's down to, you know, you could say the players are capable, and whether that's Moyes. Maybe somebody listened to our recent all the fans ranting and raving. I don't know, but it was good to see. It was really, really, really good to see, especially to know that we weren't gonna. Okay, yeah, there's always the checking the score, going, oh God, what's it gonna be? You know, but it's good.
You can't really turn up at St James's Park and be passive and not press and not be aggressive, because Newcastle and the fan base, they'll just come onto you, and they've got a very quick attack, and they play quick, flowing football. So we had to go there and do what we did. I struggled to get the first 20 minutes. I haven't actually seen the first goal, but by all accounts, if it was anything like the 30 minutes of the second of that half that I saw, we obviously went out there to very competitively and fought for every ball. And it was a foothold that we got in the game with the corner, and then we just built on it from there. Where my worry is like how we sort of drop off, because we've done it in many different situations, most recently today and against Bournemouth, where we've had the lead and then we've decided we're not going to try and attack anymore, and we're just going to sit. And yeah, sometimes it looked comfortable because Tarkowski's just heading everything away, but they got the goal, and it just proves that if you just back off, eventually something might deflect in. Newcastle had 2 deflected goals today, so we were quite unfortunate. I mean, what a game for Everton to score 3 goals and concede 2 pretty much own goals. It's we've nearly scored 5 goals today, and we can't score a goal usually. But I think we need to review that situation.
And it was it was good to see that. It's just, I think it's good to see that we've had that resilience to score so many goals, to respond to the game, and to limit a team like Newcastle at home. That, I mean, come on, where are we here? We've just, with those results there. I mean, let's not talk about the Brentford game and the result earlier, Bournemouth and Sunderland, because it could have gone anything, but it could have gone anyway, really. But now we've got those. We've got those points. We're back up to 40. We've got safe. We've just got it over. We've got 4 points over Newcastle, and it's so wonderful to know that so early in the season we're not fighting relegation. And
it's done. And
we're Evertonians. We are, Amanda. We're always fighting relaxation.
Not only are we not fighting relegation, we're also just in the mix there. We're in 8th. There's a lot of teams around us with similar points, but we are in the mix for those positions. So it's not over. We've got 10 games to look forward to. I mean, I don't think we'll have a performance like this every time. Like, we're just not that consistent. And it's at home where people are really, finding it frustrating, which I can understand, because we're paying for season tickets.
Nah. We did this yesterday. Let's not. We've won today. No, I mean, I think understandably a lot of people will be wanting to go now. It's about 5:30, but I would like to talk a lot longer about that. But I think what will be interesting to see is how we respond coming up with the game against Burnley, because they will be exhausted after that performance against Brentford. Was it 2-3 disallowed goals? Something unbelievable there.
I didn't keep tabs on it, but
no, it's just obviously left, right, and centre. Yeah, it was just a wonderful game. Now, people are here saying, how was, I'm assuming that's in response there. But there were times when he is the player that he is. Now, as you say, it was his shot that caused that goal. And Corey said, well, if it happens twice, it's strange. Oh, look, we've got Corey here. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello. Yes. Back from the Ramabis.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I've been listening to everything. So I have still been listening to your points and things like that. So, but carry on. You were saying about
many.
You're saying there about the goals conceded. Just happens twice. Oh, no, the McNeil one. Sorry, where he's had. It's happened twice.
It's happened twice, and it's good, and it's obviously a positive contribution, maybe. But then you'd think if someone else were in his place, would they have offered more? Would they offer more? And who would you put? Because there were times when he just let balls go, or he was turned off, or he wasn't chasing a man, or he just wasn't quite. Wasn't quite what you'd. As a football fan, it's not what you'd expect. But as an Evertonian, that's what you've come to understand from that.
Yeah, and I think. I understand why he played McNeil. I understand the logic behind it. I think Tyreek George.
Well, what is it then? Sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot, but because help me understand.
Yeah. So I think if you think of Tyreek George, when he started, he struggled a little bit, and I probably expected some intensity from Newcastle. Okay, so maybe shielding him from that. He's been great. I think at this moment in time, he's a bit of an impact player, an impact sub throughout the full game, especially away to Newcastle. He might be just wanting to protect them there and thinking he could be overrun at that point. So I understand the logic behind that. Dibley, he just doesn't trust. And McNeil, he's probably looking at it thinking he's going to be able to do a bit more defensive work. He's going to be more of a hard worker. Now, obviously, I don't think he's correct in that, but I think that is his thinking, if you know what I mean. Because that's what the belief behind McNeil's been most of the time is, even when he's not good, he puts the shift in, and he helps defensively. But he hasn't every time we've seen him play.
It is interesting to note, right, that Eddie Howe seemed to respond. Sorry, I just want to say this, that he seemed to respond when you were saying that. He responds, or he did in this match, very, very quickly. Obviously, there was the halftime substitution when Ramsey was ill or something, or was throwing up, or I don't know. But to have used 5 substitutions, or to have used 4 of them by, or at least 3, then ignoring the halftime one, with 75 minutes is in response to the goals. Maybe he's wanting to be proactive, but it's very proactive. But then on the other hand, Moyes has only used 3, and you saying Tyreek George, he didn't even come on. So is there an argument for don't fix what's not broken, or are we seeing evidence here that the players aren't being brought on because, well, I don't want to risk them because I don't think they're good enough to keep secure, to secure this lead that we've got?
I think that's what it is.
I think that's the. Go on, Basil. Sorry, mate.
I was just to say, I don't think he trusts the player. He didn't trust certain players anyway. He trusts his own. He has a very exclusive club of players that he wants to pick from, and Harrison Armstrong seems to be one he trusts. Like he puts a lot of weight on someone who's only 19, but he's obviously a very good prospect, and he knows he'll work hard and he can be physical. Whereas he doesn't think, obviously, the likes of Dibbling and Roll of steady and reliable. They've obviously shown moments where they have been good, and it's frustrating they're not getting more opportunities. But he does have his favourites. I think today, I don't think, from what I've seen of Dibbling, he wouldn't have done a lot better than McNeil, in my opinion. But I do think Tyreek George is a good prospect, and he would have threatened, but whether he can sustain it for a whole game is a good question.
And to add on to that, I think if it was a case of we were level or we needed a goal, then he probably would have brought Tyreek George on because that's what he's good at going forward, an impact sub. But late on in the game, we needed subs, and I do still think he probably was David a little bit in terms of making the subs. Could have brought him on sooner. I I think if we were down, he would have done that with Tyreek George, but he was never going to do it while we're trying to hold on to a lead. Hence why Harrison Armstrong come on. Yeah, he's played him out wide right, but it's the defensive solidity he's seeing the game out, isn't he? So again, it's horses for courses. I would expect going into the game against Burnley at home that Tyreek George will play some role. I would hope that he starts that game. It's not going to be as intense. We'd expect us to have more of the ball. Burnley will probably look. They've come out and got a massive comeback there against Brentford from 3 goals down, getting 3 goals back at them within like half an hour. So they're not going to be just sitting there and do absolutely nothing, but they're going to show us a lot more respect than what Newcastle have done today. So I think he'll have a chance. I think he should at least start, but he'll get on the pitch.
Will they show us respect when we've lost like 5 games recently? What's our record? 4 losses and 2 draws in the last 6 at home.
Well, that's a bit.
But the blueprint's been to sit back, let us attack, and then catch us on the break as well, hasn't it? So they'll probably look to do that.
Yeah.
We've lost 2 in the last 6.
What you're saying about the subs, I mean, the last few games, Bournemouth, I remember, I think the one before as well, he put the subs on just after we conceded the goal, right? And this time he put the sub on and we conceded 2 minutes later. So, so it's very hard to know. I mean, at the end of the day, what Amanda Stevens has put her comment there, that Moyes sees the team in training. We don't know what levels these players are up to in training. And Moyes can't control what happens on the pitch at certain moments. He can be better tactically. Sometimes the game is going away from you. You can see Newcastle coming on and on and on. You've got to do something, and he's a bit slow off the mark. But there's only so much control he can have on the game.
I can't claim to be an assessor of players or of managers, but I know what I know. And you're right in what you're saying. So when he's assessing a player's suitability to be picked in a team, you have to hope that it's done not just based on footballing ability that he sees in training, but then you take the snippets of how well that player performs under pressure and how much that ability and potential relates to actual on-pitch performance. Now, it's like the equivalent of the yips or just confidence or nous to know in that moment, to slow down, to take a breath, and to know which tool from your toolbox to pick. Because professional footballers have more tools than these amateur footballers, than us pundits, than fans. Because that's how they do these things where they surprise you and you go, God, wow. And you'd think, oh, maybe I'd have done that as a teenager. But sometimes these things that you think are so simple, they're just like Tyler Dibbling. We've seen him get steamrolled. But the point is, when that happens, sometimes you need to know, you just need to learn to know that in that moment, you can't allow that. You need to stand off the ball and buy the foul if it's going to happen. You've got to make it tough for the opposition. Now, that doesn't mean he's incapable of playing football, but maybe, like you say, we've just got a load of lightweight. Well, who was it in the past who said we've just got a load of lightweights?
I'm not too sure.
Or was that in the group chat? Never mind. airing grievances in the group chat.
I don't know if it's quite the lightweightness, but someone like Roll obviously is physical and he has the presence and the attributes. But maybe he doesn't get stick in the right positions. Maybe he doesn't trust him from a discipline point of view, or when he gets on the ball, connecting to the other players. Dibbling, he doesn't look like he has the confidence that you want in a winger like George does. He picks up the ball, he just wants to go, bang, I'm going to go at you. He seems to just be chopping back inside and going backwards. And maybe Moyes is also trying to protect him a little bit from, playing too much and then fans going, oh, what a useless signing that is for 40 million. So, let him sort of grow in training and then see. But I know it's frustrating because, Grealish is out and we're a few players short. So the quality's not always there. And you're thinking, can we get something from somewhere else? But you have to trust the manager to a degree, don't you?
I think you do. But also, when things aren't working, at that point, that's when that trust starts to go. Obviously, the form at home is where that trust has probably started to be lost. In his decision, or he's been not maybe the trust, but he's been questioned because consistently we've had issues over the past 2 months worth of home games, isn't it? So I do get where you're coming from, and I've got to trust the manager ultimately. Otherwise, what's the point of having him as the manager? But when your performance isn't good at that point, questions do start to get asked. And the most important thing, as Terry says there, we just need to follow it up with the home win. And it's just who plays that for me. My money will be on George. Yes.
What do you think then? Because the tactics at home are obviously not quite working in the sense of what we do away seems to be really effective. We're picking up all these wins. How would you feel then? We go Branthwaite, O'Brien. We say we need that pace at the back. We know we're going to try and take the game to them. Then you get
players that have been injured.
Play Dewsbury Hall deeper because we need someone who pick up the ball and progress it. Dewsbury Hall, Garner, and Harrison Armstrong, all capable of getting in pocket, picking up the ball and moving it forward. Rather than playing the slow centre backs, everyone in the too high up the pitch, they're never getting the ball. I mean, that's how I view it. But you've got to have a bit more control if you're going to play like this.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is, I've said this quite a few times, he plays completely different tactics away from home as he does at home. The tactics he plays away from home, the squad that he picks, works for them tactics, but the tactics that he plays at home, the squad that he picks, doesn't work for them tactics, i.e. not playing fullbacks. And this is where I actually didn't have much of an issue with the lineup today. The McNeil one was the only real surprise. Even Beto coming in for Barry. It's just a different physical presence. It gives Barry a little bit of a rest and lets him fully go for Burnley in midweek. So that makes sense because you're going to go defensive. You're going to have to try and play counter-attacking, which we've done against Newcastle, and it's worked today. The team, I'm hoping, is going to look different against Burnley. I don't think the back line will, but I would rather have Patterson in, or at least think about bringing him in late on if we're not winning. And I would, although I think he's played well today, just a guy gay. Again, like you've said, I'd like Harrison Armstrong in for him. So we're not got two holding midfielders. Dewsbury Hall is a number 10, which means that there's a massive unconnection between midfield and attack. So it just needs to be a different lineup, to be honest, and it needs to be a lineup that suits the tactics that we're going to play, which should be much more attacking and positive at home to Burnley midweek.
What's the worst?
Right, well, we'll box off. Right, we'll box off the Newcastle game for a second, though, because we haven't even done any player ratings. Before we start doing all this, I think that really today was down to a team performance. That whether that's to do with team selection tactics or anything, or the mentality of going away and grabbing points and stunning Newcastle. Sometimes that's the thing. You nothing ventured, nothing gained. And if we sit at home and sit back and don't play football, don't make football happen, we sit there going, "Oh God, we've let a goal in. Oh God, we've let another goal in." What do you expect's going to happen? And today we chased it when we didn't have the ball. We didn't sit back and we weren't satisfied with not playing football. And when we had it, we played bloody football, and it was a joy to watch. So with that in mind, I mean, do you have player ratings? Who was your man of the match? Because for me, it's very difficult. Because I would, Iliman and Jai was consistent. James Garner had that sort of fighting spirit and closed it down. But personally, I think it comes down to Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Because Beto played incredibly well up there, but him and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall kept that press consistent. And there were times when James Garner and Idrissa Gana Gueye, in the midfield did sit back, but that consistent three pairing up there didn't give Newcastle the time to engage their ball play, those big centre backs that sometimes come forward. And, they didn't do that. They didn't overwhelm us and flood the box. So, I mean, how would you score it? Who'd you pick?
I mean, in terms of me man of the match, I wouldn't give it to Dewsbury Hall. I think Branthwaite had an exceptional game. Terry, I agree, Barry's arse. But no, I think Branthwaite, for me, would have been man of the match. I think he had an exceptional game defensively. Obviously, he scored the goal to set things on the way. I think Beto was very, very good, led the line. His running that he was doing, he was constantly peeling off, constantly battling. And James Garner, they'd be my top three performers today. But what I would say is, and I agree with you in terms of Dewsbury Hall, even when he's not man of the match, he's such an important part of how we play and when we get a positive result for the reasons you've stated, Jan. He's clever. He progresses the ball up the pitch. He keeps the ball really well when we need to, and his pressing's fantastic. And he's always trying to get involved with everyone. He's a massive, massive part. He's been a fantastic signing. I'm pleasantly shocked at how well he's done.
Yeah, he looks really good, doesn't he? There was one moment he picked up the ball, he kind of wriggled through players. He got a burst of pace where you think he didn't have that burst of pace, got away from them. And then I think he had Beto on the run and 2 centre-backs. And he tried to play it into Beto, who's running in behind. And he should have just kept it because Beto's never going to get the ball. His quality is greater than the ones around him. Sometimes just go for the attempt yourself, back yourself.
Yeah, but sometimes we've seen that a pattern of hesitancy from Everton where they want to guarantee that the ball's going in. Like when the ball was played across to Barry, you think, who was it who played it across to him?
Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, was that what you were on about?
No, I'm talking about earlier in the game, but
in the first half when he was running and he tried to slip it through to Beto when Thiago was in front of him. Should have just I agree at the same time. I was thinking just whack at a goal.
Anyway, that's a tangent. But I thought Beto was very good. I thought Beto was very good in the game, and he hasn't played much. He's a bit out the cold. I think Moyes has thought today, yeah, we'll rest Barry because he missed a few chances, didn't he? And he's not looked quite at it the last couple of games in the same way in front of goal. So he thought, I rest him, but also it's a different type of game, and we're playing him behind. Beto's running against Dan Burn. Who would you back to kind of chase a ball down in behind? I thought it was quite a clever move.
Well, but I mean, there were a couple of times when Beto was very, very, very good and managed to, that was that on the left when he played it through, and he just managed to beat about 3 players and touched it and broke through. And he has that ability to just stretch himself. But I think that overexertion, he does it when he hits the ball sometimes. The number of times we've seen it and you've just overhit that, you've just overhit that, you've just overhit that. And I'm like, just a little bit of finesse.
Yeah. He's a little bit clumsy, but I mean, the one where he went through, that was the one that was really frustrating after all the rest of the stuff he did in the game. I don't know if the ball was out of play, but he took too long. He just he slowed himself down. He had to think, then he had another think, then he thought again, and then eventually he hit it, and he hit the bar. I mean, it should have just dealt with it on the run almost.
I mean, in that situation, though, what you want to do is not try and go over the keeper. You've just got to kind of go round or slot it low, because if the keeper, once you've drawn him to the side like that, you've created the angle, right? You don't then go for power. Maybe I'm an idiot here, right? But if you're going to smash it, you smash it. You don't spend the time creating the probability, increasing the odds to then use the low odds.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're right. And if you get in too close and the keeper's at you and narrowed it, just knock it to the right and go past them. Because Nick Pope's a big goalkeeper. He might just bring you down.
We didn't. Yeah. Anyway. Is Corey back?
I think he's
excellent.
Just.
Hello.
Yeah.
There we go. How are we, boys? Sorry about that. By the way, I agree with what you're saying. One thing I will say about Beto, I think with that chance, he'd actually created the angle really, really well. He'd open up space, and you can see he'd angled his body to put it round Pope. I think he slowed down, he overthought it, and I don't know if he was still playing on his mind the fact that ball probably did go out for the throw-in, and it's probably on his mind that when this goes in, VAR's gonna take it away from him, kind of thing. And I think that's played on his mind. Just because he slowed down, he stopped what he was doing, and you can just see when someone's overthinking something. So that's what I think's happened there. Fortunately, it's not come back to bite us in the arse. Sorry for swearing. And I think if it had gone in, I think it would have been chalked off anyway from VAR.
Yeah,
so, he done so well to battle and to get into that position, which is a major theme of his performance today as well.
Overall. So I mean, that kind of mentality, that performance, we haven't. I don't think we've seen that Everton performance in a couple of months, have we?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So I think that's pivotal to changing our home performance in my mind.
I think so. Something like that. Centre's done really, really well. It adds a bit of confidence, doesn't it, within the squad, and it's something that we can go forward with.
Oh, nearly lost you there. Yeah, no, sorry. Is it not something that you can just say? I mean, they've had some good results. We've had a few games like this, and especially away from home. Can't you just say, guys, stop being nervous, go out and play football? This is no disrespect to them, but look where they are in the league and look what we've just done. Okay, yeah, they could have done it against Brentford, but consistently, you know, with fine margins, and we've had some good wins. It's Burnley. We're at home. Come on, please. You know?
Yeah, mate, I think it's just something really, really positive for us to go forward with. There's going to be a lot more confidence in the fans, hopefully, going into Hill Dickinson on Tuesday. Me and you are going to be there together, aren't we, Anne? We sat next to each other now.
Oh, yeah. Are we?
Yeah.
Ryan's not. No, Stevie's not. Yeah. Sam
might not be going. I can't go, obviously, because I'm still in London. But yeah.
You're gonna be able to go there for Arsenal, though.
Depends if I can get a ticket. I'll have to speak to Mabsy. If Mabsy's
anyway, this isn't really channel talk. Right, anyway, guys. But yeah, Amanda is absolutely right. They did put in a shift today, and it was good to see. And at a certain point, the fact that we're having these discussions about do we even want to take Beto off, you know, towards the end of the game and bring Barry on, even if he scored, people are saying, you know, I've seen the odd comments going, was it right to even bring him off? And to have that, I wouldn't call it a dilemma, but to have that issue at least today was telling. So it was good to see.
Definitely. And these are the positive signs, because there's a bit of pressure on David Moyes more than anything from us as fans because of the performances. But we noted that against Man United, even though they were playing poor, the shift was there and the intensity was there. So they certainly got the backing of the players still. A lot of people saying that what players would want to come and play for David Moyes with the negative tactics, and I get the thinking behind that. But the players clearly still want to play for him. They're still putting a shift in. So you can see we've had it in the past where players have said about they always just a positive spin on, oh yeah, we're disappointed that we've been in poor form, but we go again, this is what we're going to do, kind of thing. And a lot of the time it just feels like empty words. But I think you can see that where they say they're not lacking confidence, they're just struggling at the moment. And I think that is definitely the case. And again, it means that all is not lost. If we just need to get that positive result, which hopefully will be against Burnley with the confidence, and that could set us up in good stead for the back end of the season. So before the United game, I was having a little think, and I back us to get about 12-15 points, which is a big haul. But if we use this as a springboard, good result against Burnley in midweek, and I think that's certainly well and truly on. And that, in my mind, that gets us Europe.
Oh, and what was good today? I mean, I'm going to jinx it here. Because, well, it's nothing. It's beyond my. I'm sure BBC are not deciding what will Yann on Follow Everton have to say about the match of the day running order. But match of the day, right? Bournemouth Sunderland 1-1 draw. Okay. Brentford 4-3. Okay, stunning game. But look at where Burnley are in the league. Liverpool 5-2 against West Ham again. They've been consistently in the league, and West Ham are down there, so I can see that. But come on, the end-to-end. I mean, it wasn't. Let's have a look. I'd love to see Brentford Burnley, because I'm sure that must be a thrilling game. But the game today, to know that, oh my God, barring what was it? We're half an hour into the City Leeds City game, and it's still 0-0. So we could be first on match of the day, fellas. Evertonians far and wide, we could conceivably be first on match of the day.
Be nice to watch us before 12 o'clock midnight, wouldn't it?
I'm just looking at the XG actually on those matches, and they're pretty much identical between us and Brentford, 2 goals each, and Burnley and Newcastle 1 goal each. So pretty similar. But I don't know how Burnley scored 3 goals from an XG of less than 1. But anyway,
So,
must have been stripes.
And it's not the same without Gary Lineker. I love Gary.
Yeah, Goals on Sunday is the one I used to watch. Goals on Sunday. But anyway, guys, we keep tangenting. Should we do play ratings? Should we go through the 11? Should we do our play
Glad
ratings?
you're back. Yeah, let's go through that. Jordan Pickford.
Get an 8.5.
Woo!
Baz, Yann, what do you think?
I'll give him an 8.
Yann?
Yeah, I'd say an 8. He didn't have to do very much, and to be fair, the saves he made against Man United, I'm just like, standard George. Come on, get on with it.
Yeah, I think that obviously that save right at the very end. What a save that was, by the way. The absolute power on the strike from Tonali and the way he actually gets to the ball, and even better than that, his reaction afterwards, flexing. You know what? Laura was saying to me that she can't believe she used to hate Jordan Pickford, and obviously spending time since she's been with me, turning it into a blue, actually watching him, she absolutely loves him. Absolutely loves him as her second favourite player after Beto. I think it's just because, yeah, he's cocky, but he's unhinged. He's absolutely unhinged. He's golden to watch. And you know what he does, though? He backs it up by being absolutely world class and being England's rightly number one.
Yeah, he doesn't spill saves like that, does he?
But no, absolute brilliance, world class save from today. So yeah, I agree, 8.5, absolutely spot on. Jake O'Brien, right back.
Okay, right back then. Right. 7.5. He was consistent. He was defensive. He was solid. He stood up well. And yeah. He didn't necessarily threaten very much, but he did a lot. And he just got on with the game. And you know what? I think he's a professional.
Yeah. And he's been professional moving out to that right back spot. He's not always great, and it's not what we always need at certain times. But games like today is where him playing right back really, really works, and it has done. Up against Anthony Gordon, kept him pretty quiet, to be honest. A couple of times Gordon managed to get past him, get the ball turning onto his right foot. But ultimately, I think he had again, like you said, the professional game.
Yeah. What's your rating, Baz?
Yeah, can't argue with that really. 7.5. Yeah. I mean, if we're going half marks, I think we're gonna have all these half marks, but yeah.
Also woke nonsense, Basil.
Well, because Pickford barely did anything in the game, let's be honest. So he, on the definition of his game, was average, but he made an exceptional save. He couldn't have done anything about the 2 goals. So based on that, Jake O'Brien was actually involved in the game quite a lot more, but gets a worse rating. But anyway.
Basil just hates Pickford, don't you? he wants Begovic back.
Right. Branthwaite. Tarkowski.
Tarkowski, I'll give him an 8. He had a very good game.
Yeah.
When he gets to sit back and head balls away all day, he'll do that all day. Again, like he's professional, solid, strong. Didn't let anyone get in between him and Branthwaite, really. It says a lot when both the goals were from outside the box with deflections. So, again, yeah, an 8.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 is good. Fair rating. Didn't do anything wrong, really, defensively. And that's his job.
Fair enough. All right. Some of these I'm not going to comment on. All right, Branthwaite. Because actually no, I'm going to do this now because I set you up there, and I'm not going to leave it uncontested. Based on the laws of giving the scores, he didn't particularly do anything amazing, right? So what are you going to give Branthwaite? If you've given Tarkowski an 8, what are you going to give Branthwaite? Let's be realistic, because I'd give Branthwaite an 8 for that header, but he does, that was a great goal, but he didn't. We weren't necessarily challenged that well. It was just the pressing across the team that the closing down and that did it for me. So go on.
Branthwaite gets an 8.5.
Oh, the half marks.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. The thing is,
The goal they scored, the first one, came off him. He threw himself in it. It's an awkward deflection, so that's a kind of a stinger that takes a little bit of the shine away. But apart from that, he scored a goal. Absolutely everything that come in, he headed away. Crosses coming in, he was clearing them. Covered for Mykolenko, made Mykolenko a lot better today, which we know he does. He just uplifted a lot of the players around him. So 8.5 for me.
Yeah, I was also going to give him an 8.5 because I actually thought Tarkowski possibly was better defensively than Branthwaite. I felt Branthwaite did cover Mykolenko, and I do remember he got in front of Gordon for a dangerous cross. He definitely was involved, but sometimes he would like clear it, but it would go out for a corner when it evidently should have gone out for a throw-in. Or just little lapses where you think if Branthwaite's top of his game, he just whacks that up away. Or so there was a bit of that, but obviously he got the goal. I've not seen the goal, but I'm giving him the extra bit for the goal that I've not seen.
And this is completely out of context, and I know I'm not one to talk with my waist length absolute mane or horse's tail, whatever. But what's going on with Anthony Gordon's hair?
It's not even, it's growing further and further out, isn't it? You know what I mean?
He reminds me of like a primary school teacher from the 90s. You know, I mean, I'm not going to remember her name, but it's just bonkers. Anyway,
you could imagine with them big, massive Daisy Barlow glasses on, couldn't you? You're on to proper greasy spoon, cafe apron, and a biff hanging out of his mouth. Mykolenko.
Yeah.
Where do we stand on Mykolenko today? Back in the team, obviously, after being frozen out for Gerard Branthwaite at left back against United on Monday. I thought, again, didn't do too much, but he was pretty solid defensively anyway.
Similar to O'Brien, right? Did a good job defensively. Didn't get asked to do much going forward. We were more playing on the counter with the 4 or 5 players we had in front. So when he's asked to do that, he have a decent game, and he did.
See, I think O'Brien had a very good game because he's been caught out a little bit at times. We've thought of playing him out of position, but the fact that he kept Anthony Gordon and Voltemade quite quiet when they kept switching around was good.
Yeah, for me, Mykolenko would give probably a 7.
Anyway,
7.5, 7, yeah.
Right. You know what? I'll start with Idrissa Gana-Gueye over James Garner because I think he did a decent job, but he was very much not the commander that he once was.
Yeah, and I think this is something that we have to. This has been an issue, is that he lacks a bit of energy in midfield at times, and he just doesn't have that forward ability. So, and again, like you've said, it's probably because of his age. He's not that much of an enforcer as he was, but that's where James Garner comes in and is kind of taking over that role. But I still think today, especially in the first half, he did have a lot of energy. He's playing really well. Sometimes he'd hold on to the ball a little bit too much, but I thought, again, yeah, very, very professional performance from him. I would have personally took him off later on in the game because, again, he disappeared, probably because age fatigue throughout that game. So 7.5.
Okay. I'd give him an 8, and I actually thought he came into it more like himself in the last 10 minutes. You know what I was saying about the team sort of really going for it after we conceded to 2-2. I thought he stepped up his game, and you could see he was chasing people back like a man possessed, getting his foot in, wrapping the ball in, like making sure we win that ball high up to get us on the counter attack, and linking up with them in dive with the little flicks. So he did cool off for 30 minutes, and I thought, why aren't we getting fresh legs on? But then he stepped up again, and generally a much better performance from him than I've seen since AFCON finished.
Certainly, I agree with you, mate. What about you, Jan?
I don't know. I wouldn't have given him that higher score because he wasn't as present.
Fair play, mate. That's your opinion.
I just, that's just my say. He was there. He got caught out a couple of times, and he's done his job. But there were times when, in the past, he would have done a little bit better, and that's all I'm going to say. I mean, he still had a very good game, but to me, I don't think it crossed the 8.5 threshold that we seem to be setting the bar for.
Not an 8.5, no.
No.
Never crossed the threshold.
I said 7.5.
He said 7.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna say 7.
Yeah, that sucks for me. That sucks for me.
So what do you give Mikalenko?
Me, I give him a 7.
No, yeah.
Yann.
4. Probably a 7.
Okay.
7.
A sensual 7.
Are we on James Garner?
Yeah, so James Garner. Basil, I'll let you go first.
I come to expect it from him, he is all over them like a rash. He did put one tackle in on Gordon, which he got booked for, but it didn't actually look that bad. But I suppose he sort of went through the man. I'd probably give him an 8.5. I thought he was the better of the two, and he was constant through the game, winning things, getting over to men, making sure he covered Gordon with O'Brien. Don't leave him 1v1. I thought he had a good game.
Agreed, and I think that's one of the things where I think we should have Garner. He'll go everywhere because he's got that engine, but we should have him on the right-hand side of the midfield too. He should be able to, because he can play right back, covering for O'Brien at times, and when he's out wide, he can whip a crossing as well. So I agree, and I think that's where he's at his best, as essentially, holding midfielder, but someone who drifts out wide to support the fullback or to whip a crossing when need be. He done well when he was on that yellow card as well, not to give other fouls away. And we're getting pretty consistent performances from Garner now, aren't we? Very rare is he getting less than a 7, even when we're not at our best. He doesn't get less than a 7, and I think I'd give him an 8 as well. What about you, Yann?
I'm having some technical issues. Can you please continue without me for about 30 seconds? Thank you very much.
That's perfectly fine. We'll move on then, Baz. We'll move on to Keenan Dewsbury Hall, the third midfielder. Okay. What would you give him for today?
Good question. Do you know what? I think he was as good as Garner was, actually. I don't think he was always in the game as much as Garner, but I think because that's just the nature of the position he plays in. But I thought he pressed from the front with Beto. He got really into defenders. Yeah, Jan's saying pressing. I give him an 8.5, I think. And he set up the goal, didn't he? Set up the goal. And his quality. Yeah.
I somewhat agree. I think it's an 8. But Jan doesn't.
Jan's going for what? 9?
8? 10.5?
No, he's not.
2 words. A film. 4 syllables. Good Will Hunting.
5 out of 10 from Jan.
And he's got a cool fucking beard.
It's nothing like yours, mate. Nothing like yours. Nowhere near as good as yours.
Honestly, all right, okay. People have said I've had a porn tash, I've had a big Nev tash. What am I doing with it, and all this kind of stuff. Genuinely, I was just shaving the other day, and I just thought, fuck it, I'll just shave it off every once in a while, as I do, because it was just. I mean, I don't have the long beards that I used to have, and then as I was shaving it off, it was my dad's birthday. Oh no, it wasn't. It was coming up to my dad's birthday, and I just thought, God, when I was a kid, he had a moustache for years and years and years, and I just thought, I'm gonna have a look what I look like, and why not?
Yeah, do you know what, mate? That's why you always do your beard before your moustache, so you get a good look at what you're gonna look like with a moustache, and then you decide if you keep it or not. I do the same thing. Difference is I can't really grow facial hair. So, right. So apart from the beard, then, what do you think of Dewsbury Hall?
Oh, he's solid. Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, for me, an 8. But I agree with you. All over the place. He does so much in terms of combining the defence to the attack. And he just, and not only that, he caps it off with a fantastic ball through for Tierno Barry's backside. On the right hand side, Dwight McNeil. Who wants to start?
6.
Yeah, I agree. Not much to say. I think he was missing for a lot of the game. Obviously, very important moment with the shot that led to the goal. Somewhat fortuitous, but still, he's involved in this.
I want to say, I did throw it out there and you're having to comment on this. I don't like doing that because he didn't do anything wrong. There weren't glaring errors. We're expecting more from him than he might be capable of, or more than he's been instructed to do, or more than it's maybe right for him to do in that moment. Because sometimes you can go, well, you want him to do that. And then you actually realize, well, he's just wildly out of position and he's going to be too slow and expose himself. So what do you want the guy to do? So I don't like him being the whipping boy, but you just have to accept the reality.
Yeah, but you could call a spade a spade. He wasn't as good as the others. 6 for me is an average score. 6 is like what you start off with, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
To get that, I don't think it's a negative thing. He was involved in a win. He was, in my mind, invisible for a lot of the game. But he was involved in the goal, even there was a bit of fortune in there. So 6 is absolutely perfectly fine. It's pretty average.
I'm just taking these compliments while I'm destroying Dwight McNeil.
I thought he offers something when he gets in the middle spaces, and he's got his left foot quality, and he had 2 or 3 shots and they all hit the target. So you can see what he's there for, but he does go missing for large periods of the game, and in those periods he's basically just running around like a headless chicken. He does run and he does work hard, but he doesn't always get where you want him to be at that moment. I would have given probably 6.5, but all my ratings are slightly more inflated than I think your benchmarks. So
stench marks.
me and Yann are just miserable gits. That's all it is.
We won the game. Do you not get an extra
4? He got a 4. He can go away.
You get an extra half a point if you win, and if you lose, you automatically start with a 2.
But Evertonians, mate, we don't do middle of the road. Everyone's either the absolute best in the world or absolute garbage. There's no such thing as middle of the road.
And die.
Managerial then, yeah. I thought
12. He got a 12, lad.
You threw me off now.
8.5.
Yeah, I agree. I think an 8, but 8.5 again as well. A couple of times where early on he was a bit wasteful. He made the wrong decision with the ball, but his ability on the ball is absolutely fantastic. You can't get the ball off him, can you?
No,
well, you can, but it'd probably get you a red card.
Yeah,
a little bit of skill at the end
when he was just dancing around the ball and then the flip with the back heel.
Took it down, didn't he? Wasn't it like a long ball from Pickford? He just took it down, did this skill move, and then flicked it with his back heel into Gay.
Yeah. He reminds me of the footballers that made me love football when I was a kid. You know what I mean? He does football. He enjoys it. You know what I mean? Does it for the beauty of the game.
Can we just be honest? It borders on making football sexual because you watch that and you just go, oh.
And we do what we don't have enough players like that anymore. Used to be. If you watch the Premier League early 2000s, you would have players doing it all the time. You watch football in general, you'd have players doing football all the time, and now you just don't get it because it's all about being safe. But what Njai does is he manages to put this fun, this colour, this romance into the way he plays without taking away his effectiveness, and he also puts the graft in. Players who play like that, with that kind of artistry, are usually, what are they called? What's like mavericks, you know what I mean? And he might not do the defensive side of things because they had that little panache in there, but he will do the defensive side of things. He's effective, and he just
they're Jamie Tarts.
The Jamie Tart, yeah. Well, Jamie Tart when he come back, when he went back on a permanent, isn't it?
Yeah,
played for the team.
Right, it's right. Okay, I will say it is coming up to half time. I think it's coming up to half time at Ellen Road. and Leeds United and Man City is still 0-0. It's been a half of two halves. Leeds United were pretty much 50-50 and had more of the ball, more of the chances, more of the touches than Man City. But then Man City turned the screws, and they've really been on top and looking like the more likely to. So yeah, currently Leeds are managing to eke out about 25% possession. So I don't know if you want to go and watch that, because we've been on for an hour. We've dissected this.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, we've got a few more man ratings to do.
Yeah.
Could do better. But...
Yeah, that's fair. Oops, sorry guys.
Your point.
Beto, then, what do we think?
Well, I gave him my man of the match, and based on the points I've given so far, I gave Dewsbury Hall 8.5. So I'm going to have to give Beto a 9.
Ooh. A bit high for my liking. I think he was.
Am I allowed to give him an 8.7? And on that basis,
now we're doing fractions.
I'm not counting the
8.67.
I'm not counting the shot he should have scored either. If the ball was out of play.
I would give him, to be honest, that is a bit of a shame that he didn't put that shot away, because a lot of people will be hanging on that, which I get it. I'd give him an 8.5 because his overall game today was fantastic. The way he kept the tempo, he was a big part of keeping the tempo going. His play on the ball was better. Didn't do too much. He fought really well with Dan Burn and Chow. And he got a goal as well. Right place, right time. While Lewis Hall was absolutely looking nowhere at the ball, he was pouncing straight on. He was showing the striker's instinct. So, yeah.
It's very difficult for me to deviate from that. My argument being maybe I'd just weight all of them or a couple of players down by 0.5, because Beto, Dewsbury Hall and Illiman and Jai worked that press wonderfully and consistently. And maybe the point was that McNeil wasn't meant to do that, because if he's too slow, and then with James Garner behind him, it's the idea of, well, Garner will shape that defence and we've got the big strong right back. But in Jake O'Neill, so that potentially means that I can see the tactical argument behind it. So for me, it's better. I don't necessarily know if I want to extend to an 8.5, but he's up there, 8.5.
Well, I think there's a degree from my end that because he hasn't played much and because he's written off by basically the whole fan base, that the fact that he came in today out the cold and basically dominated their centre backs and made these penetrating runs in behind and looked threatening and scored the goal. That's why I've given him such a high rating today. What did you rate? What did you say, McBrien? What did you give McBrien? Yann.
Sorry?
You said McBrien before.
McNeil.
I was wondering who you were rating.
The combination of O'Brien and McNeil.
Jake O'Neill and Dwight McBrien.
Right. On that note, again, just want to thank everyone for joining us, because you have been delaying or possibly been distracted from watching Leeds United Man City, and in the closing moments of the first half, Manchester City have taken the lead with an assist from Ryan Out-Nouri, or a cross from Ryan Out-Nouri, went across the box, and a right-footed shot. I give up. City scored 1-0. Yeah.
Yeah. So on that bombshell, we'll say goodbye. Thank you very much for joining me, boys. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined us. Thank you for your comments. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Thank you for sticking with me through my technical difficulties. Thank you for sticking with Yann through his technical difficulties. Yeah, we love yous. We'll see you Tuesday. In fact, we'll see you Monday for the preview. Up the Toffees, isn't it?
Up the Toffees.
That's the old lads. See you later, guys. Thanks for joining us.
See you later.
Uh-huh.